What's going on, guys? I am Journey, and I'm back with a video review. This time for a game called Visions of Mana. This is my very first Mana game I've ever played, period. I know the series existed, but hey, there's no better time to start than the present. But let's talk about the story. You're Auron, or at least you initially start off with a character named Yarn, and you're running away with your wife named Eliza. The reason why you're running away is because you don't want your wife to become a sacrifice. Steam around sacrifice is very common throughout the story. Essentially, it's throughout its entirety of its campaign. The reason why you have to make it and why is everybody so comfortable with it? Really, it's like no different from running faucet water. It's just that accepted. After the events of the initial part of the campaign, you then get introduced to a character named Val and a friend of his named Hina. Val is a mainstay throughout the party. Like, he's going to be part of the whole campaign going forward. Hina is his childhood friend, and she becomes an Alm. An Alm purpose is to travel to the Mana tree. There, as the story will unfold, they will offer up something for prosperity to the land. Now, there's multiple arms, but during this process of the journey, they have to get there. That's where Val comes in. He ends up becoming a soul guard. His whole purpose is to protect the alms throughout their journey. So think of this like Final Fantasy X, right? Where you have your guardians and then you have your summoner, where Hina would be the summoner and Val would be the guardian. I do feel as though the story is pretty significant, and it also has a ability to tell something that's a little bit more sophisticated. In contrast to what the character models look like, you can have some form of debate about those, but I do feel as though they have a really nice distinctive style outside of morally. My 2 cents would be is most definitely check this game out for the story. You might be pleasantly surprised. This is an action-based RPG. In combat, it's a little bit different than some that people are turn-based. You have access to a shortcut menu that you can use to be able to assign skills to it. Just before you do, make sure you access your wheel. It's a bigger wheel, and it showcases you the item name and a little bit about what it does. So that way you get used to what it is, and then you assign it to your shortcut key if you find yourself using this more often than not. You'll be able to move around freely in the 3D space, but also be careful when you switch in characters. They have a tendency to move forward, and that's a little bit annoying. So you can easily find your way into danger by doing that. So make sure you plan accordingly. One feature of this game is called vessels. There are 8 elements in this game, and vessels represent essentially those elements. But your job or your class changes depending on the vessel that you choose. So put it this way, every time you change a vessel, you get a different element. And in doing so, you get a different class. But some of these classes, even though you may switch, might bear the same weapon. And every character can carry up to 3 different weapons. So it gives you a little bit of variety while also encouraging you to go out and to explore and to experiment. And then if you master a class, you can then be able to switch back into, let's say, your original character and be able to bring in the abilities that you learn from some of these elemental classes into your base character, which would then lead you to a maybe pretty OP main character, or at least starting job class. So think of it that way. The game features a tactics menu. It's similar to games like Tales of Arise that you will find. In this tactics menu, you can set characters or AI companions specifically to attack the same enemy as you, different enemies. You can tell them to heal. However, there is a problem. Sometimes these things work and sometimes they don't, especially when it comes to the heals. You could tell a character to prioritize healing characters at lower HP, but you can't really say, okay, go at will with your MP and heal anybody that's like, let's say 75% health and under, right? To keep everybody tip-top shape. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes, and more often than I found, was characters just standing there, and it really does suck during a boss battle. So you can always still check and work through your tactics menu while you're in battle, which is actually a plus. So hopefully you can find a solution that worked out better than anything that I was able to come up with. Let's talk about some happy notes. This game does not feature one minigame. This game has side missions. In these side missions, you could go on errands, kill a certain amount of enemies, collect the item. Simple stuff. And I'm happy for it because I'm a little bit tired of doing fishing and racing games. Let's just keep it real. There's not a lot of creativity in the mini game kind of category. So I wish more games follow this kind of trend because it leads to more focus on the game. I don't want to keep running into games where you got take a side mission, you go look for something, and you find something, and there's a mini game to that something, and it keeps happening plus a tutorial. Something simple, something nice, something clean, and that's exactly what this game is from start to finish. A nice, simple, clean experience. Now, we did mention a little bit about the graphics. Once again, you can kind of question the character models, or specifically Morley, but you cannot question my Palomina. That's my homegirl, you feel what I'm saying? If I could, I'd put a ring on it, but unfortunately it's fake, it's unrealistic, and it hurts my heart and my soul. Either way, this game is gorgeous, specifically its backgrounds. Those things are you gotta play it to experience it. It's like a whole new kind of world. And in my opinion, it just takes your breath away. So that's one benefit of this game is its aesthetic is pretty nice. Its backgrounds are insane. Then you add in the music, which is really relaxing and very chill. So I would say this, as a whole, the entirety of this game, with its story, its characters, combat, and everything in between, is a very, very good experience. And from my experience, first time ever playing a Mana series, my suggestion to anybody who hasn't gotten to the game or to the franchise, get into it. For other people who may be returning, I can't really control biases or maybe different opinions about it, but all I can say is I think you'll come away pretty happy with this experience. That's my thoughts on Visions of Mana. Until then, make sure you guys take care of yourselves and take care of each other, and I hope to catch you on the next one. Later, everybody.